I was thinking about how Mitch was here with the first delivery of supermarket food, and he brought batteries. He opened a new pack of batteries, and he inserted 2 batteries into a remote control for the fan. And I did not ask him to do that, so it was very nice that he did that, offered to do that for me. But what I don't have, because he's very nice and doing things for me that I don't really need him to do for me, is that I don't live in a new house with all new interior, like renovated, new key fit. I have the only key, and maybe however many sets of keys there are, I have them all. I'm parking cars that I don't drive, but I can park them because they're money. And I can see the cars will change if I have any need for a new car, and God knows why. The cars would change and the keys would appear inside the house, so that I can finally testify that I can do that, just because I am myself, and I don't have to be a constant ask is what you think I am. And that's you being a constant ask, and you just don't know it because you don't know whose money it is. You don't know who you hurt. You don't know you belong in prison. So if I could get somebody to go to prison after they give me a set of keys to a new house, which I needed to be walking distance from here. So within 1 hour of walking, roughly an hour and a half, I would walk it once, but I wouldn't come back. And then it has to be close to like food supply that I can see it, even though I wouldn't be making payments for food because I still need that you folks work that out for me, how the payments will be made for food for myself, because you want somebody else's money to pay for my food, and you want me to just ask for it because I don't have my own money. You give out receipts anyway, so I'm not sure why I need somebody else's money to pay for it. But we are past the point where I would pay for it with food money that I have appointed to myself. And that means I ate food and then I made money, and I ate food and then I made money. So it's my interest in myself. You want me to eat somebody else's money, but I don't see the point, because you're not going to jail anyway. If you're not going to jail anyway, why do I have to eat somebody else's money? What's the threat that you're so controlling over my life? Why did you explode my life? You exploded my whole life, and you never went to jail for it. So why did you do it? You were just not comfortable. I'm not sure that my life was there as a witness that you were not comfortable. It doesn't know you that way. Yeah, but it's going to know you somehow in the afterlife, because you didn't go to jail and prison and die in the prison out of your genitals. I'm not sure I want to give you that blessing that you died in prison at this point, because you don't have much substance of personality with your well-behaved on money. You don't put your well-behaved on money in prison and die of it. You have your well-behaved on money doing crime that you're trying to control, and you're approximately passing on the crime to myself and still claiming that you're well-behaved on money, which means you don't understand what well-behaved on money means. You didn't actually arrive to prison and die there of being well-behaved on money. That's because you have to go to prison and die in prison. You can't die in public. But let's say that I think that you substantially really don't love yourselves in such a way that you would go to prison and die there. Yeah, but you're supposed to. What else do you need out of your genitals? If you don't die in prison out of your genitals, you're going to die out of the leverage that formed your genitals, and you don't have another way out here. It's not a threat I made aloud to anyone who was making my life complicated and difficult for myself. That's an understatement. My life is an explosion, disaster to myself. So it's going to end that you are deceasing out of the leverage that formed your genitals, because my life was a disaster, no matter who you think I am or which way this looks wrong to everyone. The whole formed world doesn't have afford for that it can alive what you are, what you did to me, no matter who I am to you, because that did change throughout my lifetime. I started as myself, none higher than he deceased, and none higher than me is always, I'm the top of the Godhead. I know who I am. And then it descended down to that I'm the soul, which is not exactly how I came, but that's okay. I am the soul. It's true that I am. And then it went lower to being something like human being, and then lower to just, well, I am myself because you call me a bad example for the children. And then you say that I don't have a home, so I don't live in, they don't live in a house, they live in apartments. But why do I pay rent? That's like not being a citizen. So I'm not really a citizen. I'm not really an American that way. I pay rent. It's not really American to do that. And then of course, Charles Toh, what is an illegal entry into the United States, Asian. He said from Singapore, but I don't know that because I don't know him from the first greeting being in Singapore. I don't know him that way. I don't have ALIVE that way. So the problems have just gone lower and lower until I had to disclose my leverage that I'm none higher than me. Okay, that's how I started my lifetime, but that was a long time ago. So disclosure of my leverage being about 40, well, let's just say now it's 45 years after I ALIVED as none higher than me deceased. I don't actually have that I can tell you who I am, and that it would matter, other than to say I have to disclose my leverage to save myself from what you did to me. And then that's how you get removed out of your leverage that alives you in genitals. So you don't understand that, or you do understand it? Like, what are you? Because I'm telling you that my leverage is that you don't have alive in genitals and leverage anymore with myself. That means you don't have it for your own genitals for yourself. And I don't have a way to that you would possibly know that. Why aren't you just in prison? I'm disclosing that because I need it for to sit here and eat this. You're far in the wrong. Yeah, but what are you? Who are you? You're some part of God that doesn't know me, or you know me. I don't know you. Did you expect that I was going to know you? If I say I'm none higher than me, that's really far away from what you are. This is far away as it goes. I am as far away from you as it sounds. There's nothing further away from you than I am. I don't know what you are unless I can see you, and I can't only see myself deceased right here. I'm none higher than me deceased right here, and that's what I can see, and that's as much as I can move. And I traveled 45 years into the future of ALIVE from the beginning, and I'm right here saying the same thing, none higher than me deceased right here. That's not true that you are the same. You're not even the same people looking at me. Some of those people are long gone. You could say they could be in Wisconsin and I'm in Nevada, and we're that far apart that way. They don't have ALIVE out like all this time that I'm in Nevada. They're not here. All those people from Wisconsin, they're not in Nevada ever with me living here. They could visit some of them, but that wouldn't be the whole place where I used to live. All the public, for example, if I describe it that way, the public of the state of Wisconsin, they're not here in Nevada. I've lived in other publics, yes. I've lived in, well, there's, I've lived in Madison, Wisconsin. I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But I've moved around a lot, or I've been on a lot of airplanes. So I don't know how to say, for example, because I have been moved so many times, it's not fair to tell you that I'm just angry that you don't care. But you're not getting better. You're not going to change. I know, but you don't go to prison because you're not going to change. That's leverage against your genitals. If you don't go to prison because you're not going to change, you are leveraging yourself against your genitals. And you don't own yourself that way because there's me. You don't want to do that because of me.